So, I won't ever have a serious job anymore. Welcome to Post Mischa. Today I want to talk about my face tattoos, why I got them, the reactions that I got from it, and also what was the most important thing for me with getting my face tattoos. So yeah, let's just start off. First, the face tattoos. I think I have them for almost a year right now, or at least I started off with a smaller one on this side, and then a few months later I got this one. And by the time what it was in my head already for I think already 6 months before that, before I got my first tattoos on my face, and it had both sides in it. Tattooing is something therapeutic. It always feels like I start a new chapter. How corny that may sound, but it works like that. And on the other hand, I was also really interested in the feeling of getting my face tattooed, especially on the side. I of course already have my hand tattoos, and that was painful but also therapeutic in a way, because it feels like you're sort of going through a period, ending a period. And again, I sound really corny, but that's just for me at least how it feels like. So it's therapeutic, leaving things behind, new chapter, be more awesome. And of course, what it feels like, what I must say, compared to the other tattoos that I have, that the side of your face, even if you put your nail in it, which is already like a good measurement to see how it hurts, but it was actually rather easy. The one part that was maybe a bit annoying was like the lower part on this side, because you also got more nerves there, but besides that, it felt really easy and really nice, to be honest. The sound of it is as if you go to the dentist in a way, getting your teeth fixed also with like a drill. That was a funny feeling, funny sound, and quite enjoyable. It was not painful at all, to be honest. One thing that was important for me, and that's still something that I'm happy with that I did. One thing that was important for me is the fact that if I talk with someone one-on-one, I wanted it to be that someone cannot really focus on my face tattoos. So if I now look right in the camera, you barely see my face tattoos, and that was something that I found really important, because here in Berlin I have seen more people with face tattoos, also on more visible places, at least if you look one-to-one to someone. And although everyone does their own thing, but for me it always felt a little bit too much, and that I would focus on that person. If it would be, for example, here, then I would have a conversation with someone, and somehow I still would have an interest to just look at it. And so for like getting a job, or for later on, for maybe being a bit serious in certain things, I definitely, for me, one requirement at least was the fact that it wouldn't be too much or too overwhelming. Again, everyone does their own stuff, so I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a bad thing if it's more visible, but for me, I didn't want to have that, at least not yet. And then lastly, what I would say, the reactions that I got to it, they were quite funny. Even before getting the tattoos, I talked about it with some friends, and the first reaction that I mostly got was like, okay, don't you think this is gonna get you into trouble with getting a job? And I would say to them, well, fuck you. Not necessarily, but I think that's such an old way of thinking. Besides, like, I took care of the fact that it wouldn't be too visible in a way. And I also still believe that the moment that I apply somewhere or I get to meet someone new, I will just put a smile on my face. For the people that know me, I'm quite a joyful person. And I think at the moment that people, even when they see my tattoos, but the moment that they start talking to me, that yeah, sort of feeling is gone. On the other end, my old landlord, she was. I noticed when I moved in my old apartment, I only had this tattoo over here, and the rest that I got during that time. And I noticed that I got, at least from her, she's a 70, 80-year-old lady. She got anxious for me due to my tattoos, especially at the moment that I got my face tattoos. I sometimes, when I met her, I saw her looking at me. But yeah, on the other end, that's for me something. If people are like that, I'm on the opposite side of like, okay, yeah, poor soul, poor you, because like, yeah, of course the tattoos don't say necessarily anything about anyone, about anyone's character. So for me, although it was a bit annoying living there, because I didn't feel as welcome anymore, on the other end, that's something that, yeah, I also just have to accept by getting these face tattoos. And after that I got the tattoos, the most reactions that I got were really positive, especially here in Berlin. Like, it's more accepted. People don't make such a struggle of it. One thing that I do notice is that a lot of people just look at me. This could be in different ways. On one hand, you have the people that are interested in it, and they look at it and they give you a smile. But there were definitely also some situations when I would meet some baby boomers, or like just stand in the public transport, and that I would get like either a disgusted face to me or just like, huh, what the fuck. Not necessarily here in Berlin that much, but I went to the Netherlands back home at the end of February, and I first went to Hamburg, and then I went to the Netherlands, and I really noticed that face tattoos, they're not that much around in these places, and people will stare at you or look at you. Not that that's necessarily a problem for me. I honestly don't care. But that's definitely something that you gotta take into account. Last thing that I would just say, like, head tattoos are of course a way of expressing yourself, and that's something that I would say everyone has to make their own decisions in where they get their tattoos and etc. But at least for me, we get into a time that tattoos are more accepted. I would just say, if you feel like doing it, of course. What I did, I waited half a year with getting tattoos when I first had my thought, okay, maybe I want to get them. Talk about it with friends, see both sides, see the feedback that you give, that they give. Also think of it yourself. I could imagine that here in Berlin it's quite accepted. If you live in a region where it's not accepted at all, I would, given my perspective on it, I would still do it, because things are changing anyways, and people also have to accept, like, if they cannot take tattoos in visible places, like, maybe there is something wrong with their view on it and not necessarily yours. But on the other hand, if it might give you really struggle in doing the job that you really want to do, of course, think about it at least, I would say. And yeah, let the thought also stay a little bit in your head. Yeah, the 6 months were for me really sort of a deal. Okay, I have this in my head right now. If I still have it in my head in 6 months, then I will do it. And yeah, that's just basically what happened. So for now, I am I'm really happy with my face tattoos. Also, mostly the reactions that I got from it. And yeah, in a way, I think it fits me. I got used to it by looking in the mirror. That was definitely something the first 2-3 months that I had to get used to it. Also, like I got next to it the piercings because I thought that would fit nice, and yeah, in a way I think it does. So yeah, that's basically the story of my face tattoos. For all you baby boomers that cannot accept it or that find it strange, that is all fine for me, for you, poor soul. But on the other end, for me it's totally acceptable. It's a nice thing, expressing yourself, freedom, however you want to call it. So yeah, this story of my face tattoos. I hope you liked the video. Like it if you like it, become a subscriber if you want to. That would help me a lot. And then I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.